Lisa, the Anunnaki Oracle Priestess, and welcome to my live stream. I'm going to give just a few moments for some folks to get in here, and then we're going to be locked and loaded. Happy 999 portal. Y'all, I had to say it 3 times for them 3 9s because we are in this thing. The energy of the portal is said to be, it's going to rock on for a few days, but yeah, we in it now, y'all. And truthfully, 999 lets us know that we're ending the end of a cycle. It is a completion. Like I said, we're on the verge of a, dare I say, reset for some of us spiritually in our own lives. We've been in this rebirth, transformation, initiation cycle, some of us for a year or more now. But yeah, it feels like significant changes are on the horizon. We're seeing it in the cards. Yeah, so come on in here and get this 999 juice for sure, for sure. And welcome in, Major Arcana. How are you? I don't know what star system he came from, but he came from the planet Nibiru, according to the ancient text. Marduk is the son of Enki, the nephew of Enlil, and they all came from planet Nibiru, where they named themselves the Atlanteans. It does not say in the ancient text which star systems they came from prior to them settling on Nibiru. It just says that there were two factions of people, two races, if you will, of people that found themselves displaced from the galactic wars. They lost their home planet and they settled on Nibiru. hmm You're welcome. Hey, Miss Brittany, welcome. How are you today? Yep. Oh, Brittany, did you get a chance to see White Feather's most recent reading? I think she did. Who are you or what are you becoming? Something like that. That reading, when I first looked at it, I don't have that first deck. I'm good. Yeah. I don't have the first deck that she used, but I do, of course, have the Osho Zen Tarot as well as the Light Seer. So I was trying to decide between those two, but the Osho Zen got my attention in the center. When she started pulling the zodiac signs, how about this sister pull my sun sign, my rising, my moon sign, and my north node all in order under the pile of that Osho Zen tarot. And then when she did the deck selection where spirit chooses the deck, spirit chose that deck too. So I'm like, yeah. And for sure, it resonated way more than pile three for me. I didn't finish pile one yet, but yeah, I jumped in because normally I don't skip around. I'll watch the whole thing, but when I saw that, I had to go straight to that reading. Pile two was the one that yeah, because I'm a Cancer sun. I'm Cancer sun, Virgo rising, Sag moon, and Aries north node, and she picked all of that laid right down there in front of me. Hey Jojo, bro, how are you? Welcome. Now let's get on in here. Let me see. Oh goodness, I forgot. I pulled my other main deck. I put it to the side because I'm using it for the love pick a card that I'll be doing later. Hold on. Where's my lunar tarot? Since we're in that 9-9, we might as well use that one. Hold on. There we go. There we go. My bad, y'all. Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah. So what's up, Major Arcana and JoJo, bruh? What's up? Hey, Miss Amanda, how are you? Welcome. Let me see something here. I want to jot something down. Let's see. Bear with me. I've been pretty good. Yeah. Um, A little bit tired, just because my sleep is off. You know what I'm saying? It's like, but it was off even before the eclipse. I've been like knowing I should go to bed, but still up. And even if I lay down, still not getting to sleep till 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. Oh, y'all. And I'm trying to think that dream that I told y'all about in the WhatsApp group this morning. I woke up, but then I was kind of laying there putting my feet up and everything, and I drifted off to sleep. I was listening to one of them channels that do AI stories, and it wasn't anything scary or anything like that. You know the ones, poor woman winds up in, poor maid gets challenged by the real wealthy housekeeper and something shocking happens and blah blah blah, that kind of thing. Um, but when I fell asleep, it was so weird because what I was hearing, I know didn't match what I had queued up and was listening to. It was a conversation between two men, and those stories are only narrated by one person. But the conversation in my dream was two men, and one of them was asking a question about the other one. The guy said something about he felt like he had been bitten in his sleep, and the man said, like this. And then instead of biting the man, again, I'm doing this fourth wall thing, but I wasn't in the fourth wall anymore. I was in the dream. It bit my wrist on this outside portion of the wrist, but my wrist was literally detached from my body. My hand was detached from my body with that portion, and it was off about probably 10 or 15 feet away from me and showed like vampire bites. And I don't even remember how I got reattached to the wrist, but when I did, I wound up back in another house scenario. The layout of the house was similar to my family home, but it wasn't cluttered. It was like a whole different color scheme and all of that. But I was in the kitchen, sitting at the table, and somehow the garage area we used to have, like my mother closed off our two-car garage, and it's so literally like you walk in from the back door into this den that it had been a garage converted into a den, and then through the mud room into what used to be the kitchen. But when the house was renovated, it became another den. But in this dream, it was still a kitchen area, and the mud room was gone. But I was sitting at the table and I was fussing because my um basically my roommate, which Pat was still my roommate in the dream, my current roommate, but I was fussing because he had pizza boxes all over the place. And they weren't even regular pizza boxes. Some of them were super thin, things that he don't even eat, businesses I've never seen before or anything. There was one that had like onion slices falling all out of it, and I was fussing. These are not things that he would normally order, but I was fussing because he had these pizza boxes everywhere. And I fell asleep at the table. And when I awoke, remember I told y'all about the lady, Alice, my sister's friend who had passed on? Somehow in this dream, she had left me a bowl full of homemade biscuits. I didn't see her in the dream, but in the dream, I knew she had left them for me. And when I went into the garage area to try to see if she was still there, there was a little girl, not the same little girl from yesterday's dream, but there was a little girl there. And I was trying to figure out, how did she get there? Who did she belong to? And of course, I wasn't scared, and of course, I had to wake up to go to the bathroom before I could get any answers in the dream. But I just thought that was interesting that Alice had brought me a bowl of bread. Now I'm gonna have to look up the symbology for what that means, but she brought me homemade biscuits. I can't eat them now, but yeah. Hey, Foxiana 420. Oh, Foxy, never mind, 420. Welcome. What's up? And KRTE, welcome, welcome. If you're not comfortable here, you're welcome to leave because we do what we do here. I'm not finna explain myself to you. I'm not finna argue with you because honestly, y'all, I got a revelation about that too. I do feel bad for these people that think that they're called upon to cause problems in other people's stuff. Like I said, I look at them like literally like damaged children. Um, and it's interesting. I got a confirmation from Cece the other day that really brought me to tears, because she was saying well, I got to ask if she will allow me to share certain parts of her story. But the confirmation part for me was that regardless what, again, how shadow banned both of my channels are right now. One of them is an old channel, so I get that, and the other one, whatever's going on over there. But I kept showing up in her feed and showing up in her feed, and she had been asking and looking for somebody she could, trust as far as getting information about our origins and the scriptures and all that stuff. And I kept popping up in her feed. But here's the thing, she has a gift to be able to see people's souls. She said as a child, they kept having to switch churches because when she sees somebody that ain't right in their spirit, she sees them like literally like the Walking Dead. She sees like she'll see their face, but their body looks like skeletons and stuff. And it scared her as a child. And her family had to keep switching churches because everybody in the church was showing up like that. So when my spirit came through to her as clean and my intentions pure, she felt like that she was in the right place. And then she was getting confirmation after confirmation after confirmation. And it really resonated with me. A lot of these trolls that come in here and keep coming in here, even though my channel is not getting the numbers, it's not hitting the algorithm, but yet it's showing up in their feed. That is literally their spirit team trying to wake them up. And instead of listening, they come in to be a divisive problem. They come in to preach and proselytize. They come in to spread racial hatred, all kinds of foolishness, instead of listening to their spirit guides. That truly is something to not be angry with them about, but to truly feel sorry for them for. And who knows, if we show enough compassion, if we keep showing up in the feed, maybe they'll figure it out and stop clowning and trolling and actually listen and learn something. You never know. Hey, JoJo, bro. Welcome in. Let me see what else is going on here. Ooh, I don't blame you. Yes, indeed. Welcome that. And truthfully, now I'm not, it's been a long time since I looked at sleep or dream meanings, Brittany, but I know typically like dream houses do have to do with our life and the things are in them, all the different compartments, if you will, of our life. So if you get in a brand new house, like you say, your rebirth cycle may be very, very close to its end. KRTE. Now, what you're not gonna do is come in here with that diet on the third, rose on the third. That's not true, honey. That's not true at all. And even outside of whatever, there's plenty of folks out here in the other part of the world that's not sipping the Kool-Aid that know good and full well that Yeshua. Some say he lived to 48. Some say he lived to age 80. But that died for us and all. That's a blood sacrifice that we don't claim here. We love Yeshua here. We follow him as he said, not as the church misdirected. So don't bring that in here. We all do dream, Amanda. A lot of us don't remember them though. For years, I used to have very vivid dreams. I dreamt in solid colors, and had movie dreams that played out like movies and all of that. But there came a time when I had so much trauma and stuff going on in my life, and I didn't even recognize it as trauma. But for a number of years, I didn't remember any of my dreams. I dreamt in colors and all, like I said, the movies and all of that other good stuff, saving lives, breathing underwater, flying. I did all kinds of stuff in my dreams. And then I started having nightmares. And then I shut my dreams down altogether for a few years. Again, I'm sure I was having them, but I couldn't remember any of them. And then recently I started dreaming again. Hey, Niana. Hey, Julia Lowe. Welcome in. KRTE, you can carry that up out of here. Goodbye. Leave if you don't want to be here. If you feel like we're not doing something that is righteous as it should be, then why don't you remove yourself from the scenario? Because you're not going to change nobody with that. All you're doing is irritating your own demons, because we're very satisfied and comfortable with our knowledge set. You just busted up in here. You've never been in any of my live streams. You don't know who I am or what I'm about. You just bebop up in here spewing your lies and false teachings. Because just like you think I'm bearing false teachings, all of my regulars up in here know for a fact that you, I'm not saying you're intentional, because most of humanity has been lied to and bamboozled, but what you're spewing is literally curses from the devil upon everybody. Christians, Muslims, and Jews do not understand, but they are in actuality worshiping the devil, and then have the nerve to want to push that onto other people. Keep that over there, creep, crack, whatever you are, KRTE, please. And yeah, don't call on your father, please, whatever you do, because Yeshua told the Jews that the Elohim that they were worshiping was not the Elohim that sent him. He told them that they were worshiping their father, the devil. So what did Christians come along and do? Continue to worship the same Elohim that the Jews was worshiping, which Yeshua told them was the devil. So do not, whatever you do, please don't pray to your father over nothing over here in our live stream respectfully. I rebuke that all day. I rebuke it. I rebuke it. I rebuke it 3 times on this 999 portal. KRTE. There's such a thing as dreaming and being awake. Miss Yates, kind of, sort of. I mean, we can get in a kind of a trance state, but truthfully, most of the time, that is what we would consider lucid dreaming. You're still asleep. KRTE, the Gospel of Luke, was not written by anybody that had any association with Yeshua whatsoever. Know your biblical history, sir, ma'am, whoever you are. Matthew, Mark, and Luke were written. They're vehicles of the original Christian, of Catholicism and Christianity, which have nothing to do with Yeshua Hamashiach. It really don't. Go look at your history. Constantine did not love Yeshua, did not believe in what Yeshua was teaching. Constantine was a pagan sun worshiper. They just knit Yeshua in the middle of their story because he was popular at the time amongst some folks, but they put a lot of pagan stuff, they pull that in. That's why all your little Christian holidays, every single one of them, has pagan origins, usually bloodthirsty rituals and all of that. That whole crucifixion thing, that was a blood ritual that they was doing with a cannibalism feature put in, according to Matthew, Mark, and Luke. The one disciple of Yeshua's who actually walked with him and wrote the Gospels that were included in that book, John, his cousin, don't mention nothing about uh, the Last Supper and the eating of the blood and the drinking of all of that. That's pagan cannibalism that was thrown in for good measure, so that all y'all good Christians will be cursing yourselves by continuing that blood curse that they put on Yeshua. Deuteronomy, or was it Daniel? I forgot. I think it was Deuteronomy, mentions how hanging anybody from a tree is a curse upon them. If they're left overnight, it's a curse upon the land too. And of course, anybody that participates in that is cursed too. And yet y'all reenact that mess and praise it and swear that it's such a good thing that he died for us and all of that. And that the apostate Paul had y'all believe in that mess. All of the New Testament was written over 100 years after they supposedly unalive Yeshua. You have no idea what you're worshiping and bringing. It's you what you choose to believe, and if you continue to choose to believe it in your willful ignorance, that's your business. But don't bring it here, because ain't nobody here about that at all. You say if you have a movie playing in your head daily, constantly, where you are in your higher form of consciousness, your life is great, your son is doing well. That's good. You're envisioning, you are living in the dream fulfilled. Who was that? One of them cats back from the 1920s, 30s, or whatever, talk about a lot about living in the wish fulfilled. That is a wonderful point of manifestation. It's on the verge of happening for you, Amanda. Hey, Cece, welcome, welcome. KRTT, you know what? And again, we've read all of those scriptures in here, but the one who said that was a liar and a hypocrite. Solomon, not Solomon, Saul. Yeah, it was Saul, King Saul, not Saul of Tarsus. King Saul had outlawed sorcery and divination and all the rest of that stuff. And when he got his butt in a tight and wanted to hear from Samuel, who had passed on, he went and summoned the witch of Endor to talk to Samuel on his behalf. Stop being a hypocrite and know the whole scriptures, and stop spewing your little random Sunday school snippets at us. We know what we're talking about here. And if you want to talk about sorcery, the god that you worship is a high sorcerer who gives magic and sorcery to his followers. If you don't believe me, go read the account of Moses bringing the Jews out of Israel. The first thing Moses did in there to get the Pharaoh's attention was a little piece of flashbang that Yahweh had given them. He turned his staff into a snake and it slithered across the floor. And the Pharaoh said, "You ain't said nothing. We got magic practicing priests who can do the same thing." And their magic practicing priests came in and threw their sticks on the ground and they became snakes. And then Moses' and Yahweh's snake ate up the other two snakes. Brother, that is sorcery. High magic. So don't come at me with hypocrisy. Please. A lot of the Bible is false. If you actually understood that, some of it is actual history. The first part of the Bible are Anunnaki text, ancient Sumerian text, and all of that in Aramaic, the ancient Aramaic text. They put those together. They've arranged them in a certain way to create a certain narrative when they were creating the religion called Christianity. Christianity only came along 1800 years ago, or 2000 at this point. It literally time changed when Yeshua hit the planet. And Christianity, it's 1700 because Christianity didn't even exist till 300 years after they killed him. 300 years after Yeshua walked the earth is when Christianity became a religion. That part. And it had nothing to do with Yeshua. They just put him in that mix so that they could continue to promote Yahweh worship onto the planet. The Jews worshiped Yahweh in a small pocket on the planet. And when Christianity popped out, they took a lot of different beliefs from all the different religious systems of the time and mashed it up into this thing. And they used that story of Yeshua as the bridge to basically carry them from Yahweh worship. They morphed Yahweh into this new name, Jehovah, and pushed it out on the world on the end of spears and pew-pews, because they quite literally unalived 80 million people as they went around the world telling people, this is what you're going to do or you're going to die. And they installed Christianity in high bloodshed and used the name of Yeshua in an extremely hypocritical, blasphemous way to do it. And if you go to the Vatican right now today and go look at, that is the birthplace of Christianity. It's one of the most Luciferian, satanic spots you'll ever find on the earth. All kinds of gargoyles and dragons and serpent imagery all over the Vatican. You need to know what you're doing when you bend your knee to worship to Yahweh. You are worshiping Satan, the devil. When he first came here from Nibiru, his title was Satan of the Eden. Go read it. I didn't make it up. He was Lord of the Command from Nibiru. He's a warrior. And he tells you, he didn't even want to tell Abraham his name when he first got here. Abraham said, "Who shall I say? Tell him I am who I said I am sent me." Arrogant. And the reason he didn't have a people was because he had been exiled by the other Elohim. He's a bad actor. Him and Marduk. Marduk was exiled twice. Yahweh was exiled. And he went and picked off the scrawny, scrappy things. He picked up the nation of Israel because they were a nomadic tribe at the time. They met up with another nomadic tribe that had introduced them to Yahweh. He was known as a storm god then in the ancient history. But he done been a lot of deities over time, and none of them was good. He was Dionysus. He's been Bacchus. He's been Zeus. He was Baal, Beelzebub. He's been known by a lot of different names, and he ain't acted nice towards humanity in any of them. He hates humanity. From the time he got off the spaceship off and landed here from Nibiru, he has hated humans ever since his brother, who is our actual progenitor, when his brother that let us make man in our image in Genesis chapter 1, that's Enki, Ninmah, and Thoth, who are Yahweh's brother, sister, and nephew, respectively. Please go back somewhere and dig further into history than what the Sunday school lesson gonna tell you and learn some stuff, okay? Cool. Yeah, there is a lot of truth in the Bible, but there's a lot of stuff taken out of context in the Bible as well. So I'm not saying that the entire biblical texts are false. I'm saying that religion has put a different spin on it than what it should have. For example, by that Elohim thing, they've translated Elohim to mean God, and Elohim has never meant God. It means powerful ones. El Shaddai means sons of the powerful ones, and El Elyon means the destroyer. So yes, Yahweh told Abraham he was the destroyer when he first met him. He said, I am El Elyon. Don't get it twisted and don't step wrong. You agreed to serve me. Ain't no take backsies. Make a false move and I will destroy you right now. Exactly. Who better for the devil to pretend to be but God himself? His greatest tool is convincing people he does not exist. He literally, and even through other pantheon, and I'm gonna find that documentary. It's not even all that old. I think it's about 6, 8 months old. I forgot the channel that did it, but I'll do some research and find it again. But when they went throughout time and traced the lineage of Yahweh, there was a point in time, I think it was with the Mycenaean people, that he quite literally came in like a wolf in sheep's clothing and started absorbing some of Enki's characteristics to make himself look better. He basically tried to morph and do a switch out with Enki. And with the biblical story, he flat out did it. Everything that he did, all the dirt that he did, he painted Enki as a devil and a demon and something bad, and then turned around and tried to present himself as this beautiful, benefic, all loving sky daddy. And all of the ancient texts that are older than the biblical text tell you that Yahweh hated humans. If you go read Enuma Elish and Atrahasis, those are the Babylonian epics. And even though there's a lot of creative license taken in there, Enlil hated humanity. He called for humanity's destruction all the way through that book. And even when they got to the poetry and prose, it kept repeating it over and over. He was demanding for humanity to be completely destroyed all the way through both of those epic works. And all of those are thousands of years older than the biblical texts. Yahweh hates humanity. I think KRTE done left. So we can get on with the tarot if we want. Oh my goodness. I was just like I say, when I get behind in the notes, I just read down and answer them. So I wasn't even speaking against anything that you said or didn't say, or because I hadn't gotten there. I was just trying to talking to KRTE because I thought, and that wasn't even what we came here for. We came here for some tarot, but like I say, them little proselytizers, it bothers me so much because I do love Yeshua so much, y'all. That's the thing that they don't understand. They come in here and want to declare evil. When I first figured out this thing and started connecting the dots, like, who was it that said? I think it was Cece that said the puzzle is all there. A lot of the pieces have been hidden, jumbled up and around the corner, but it's there. Under Luciferian law, they have to put the pieces there. Now it's up to you to figure them out and connect the